for all the excitement, deservedly so, over Highland Holmes, Keldrick Falk.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to It Don't Matter.
Yep.
We love it. I think it's really important. Where else is the pass rush coming from?
Yes.
For Auburn. Like that's.
Yes.
I mean, there's been positive
and
buzz.
Baylor did not give up very many sacks last year.
There's been positive buzz about Keyron of late. I think that Chris Murray, the consensus has had a very strong preseason camp. Amaris Williams seems to be, a safe bet as far as a breakout. If you want to pick a second-year breakout on this team, Amaris is someone who seems to have pushed all the right buttons this offseason as far as what he needs to do. Talking to Vontrell really sort of solidified, my belief that this is, that this is a guy you can.
He looked great all camp.
All camp long. Looks like he and that's a position where when the rounds get live, maybe things can get a little bit different. But looking the part and looking like a big fluid athlete and a physical one at that point, like Amaris would be one of these answers. But I think it's like that's an intrinsically important part of this for Auburn because you have to account for the attention Keldrick's going to get. What else are you going to be able to do to rattle Sawyer's cage? Because that's that's going to be something this defense has to do more than they did last year, and they're going to have to do it against a team like Baylor.
Yeah, to your point, looking through from last season and that first half as we talked about, Baylor gave up 3 sacks to BYU. They gave up 3 sacks to Utah in that game where they really struggled, and then against Iowa State last season, they gave up. They didn't give up any sacks in that game. Iowa State just played really good defense all the way around. So it's like that is a factor. Because as anyone would know, if that quarterback gets comfortable, you're in trouble because he's really good. He did not make a lot of mistakes last season. Not a turnover-prone quarterback. Big arm. Has familiarity with his receivers. I thought it was interesting, Dan. After practice on Tuesday, we heard a good bit from Auburn's defenders. Keldrick Falk, Malik Blockton was talking about. They are interested in what Sawyer Robertson does as a runner. And last season, this isn't taking stats or sacks into account. This is taking sacks into account, but he had few touchdowns last season, and he's just mobile as probably more of an improviser than necessarily a true running dual threat type of guy. But they want to see if they can slow him down in that regard, because that's an area where I think, like Jackson Arnold, he can be very comfortable on the move, and so keeping him getting to him and keeping him contained, because that was something that Auburn thought coming into this game. Couldn't really measure it as well in preseason, because when you're going against quarterbacks, they just get blown dead as soon as you get anywhere near them. So yeah, where does the pass rush come from? That's a great question, and I think Auburn's got a multiplicity of options there. But who's gonna step up? That Baylor team, top 40 in the country last season in sacks allowed per game, like this experienced offensive line that feels like that they can keep their quarterback clean and play him well.
And the personnel is going to be something of a mystery. I mean, I think that you can usually count on seeing Keldrick. I wonder how often you'll see Keldrick and Amaris. I would think that you can usually count on seeing Keyron. How often will you see Chris Murray or even Keyron and Chris Murray together? Chris Murray, another guy making a return to Texas. You have to imagine he's going to have some people in the crowd after making the All Whataburger team back in 2020. I guess who else is possibly out there? The lot's been made of the numbers on the defensive line and who could possibly break through in that rotation. It feels like Malik Blockton, Bobby Jamison, Travis first, and probably in high leverage moments, if those two guys are fresh and available, I would think that they're the top 2 options. It feels like a photo finish.
Yeah.
As far as who, I'm not sure what my answer would be as far as who the next guy could potentially be, and how much it matters versus the third guy or the fourth guy.